In this video about functional groups, we're going to look at esters. Now, as you can see from the image on the bottom right, an ester has the carbonyl group, and then it has an oxygen. And some might think that that's an ether, but it's not. It's actually coming from an OH group that combined with a carboxylic acid. So what you do is you release a water, and then you have these two remaining structures together. So here are the rules for naming esters. You have two things. You have the carbonyl, which is a C-double-O bond, and you have an oxygen. So it looks like this. You have the C double bond O, and then you have an oxygen, and then you have the remaining carbon structure. You can have other branches and all kinds of things going on as well. So how you break this down, what you do is you start naming, let me change colors here. You start naming at this oxygen. Now that didn't change colors. One more time. You start naming at the single oxygen, and you'll name the chain away from the group. So that part goes first. And then you will come back and you'll look at the carbonyl portion of it, and you'll start numbering away from the CO double bond, the carbonyl group. And whatever that is, then you will change that to an O8 ending. I did not mention that the chain portion from the oxygen over has a YL ending. You can also have other branches and groups and multiple bonds and all kinds of crazy things added in here. But you're going to have two words. You're going to have something YL and then something O8. So let's start naming some of these. Starting again at the single bonded O, we are going to number the chain. So you can see that the group here has a 2-carbon chain. That part's first, so that is ethyl. And then we are going to start numbering from the carbonyl. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is a 4 group. That would be bute. Instead of it being a butane, it's going to be a butanoate. So that's ethyl butanoate. Okay? Up here on the right, we're going to look for our single carbon or single oxygen, and we're going to name this part first. So that's 1, 2. So that is ethyl again. And then the remaining portion, we're going to number the carbons, and this one has a 1-carbon group. So this is going to be methanoate. All right. Moving on to the third one. We have our oxygen. So we're naming this portion, and it's a 2-carbon group. So that again is ethyl. And now we have 1, 2, 3. So that is propane, but it becomes propanoate. So ethyl propanate. All right, now we're getting into some crazy chaos here. Looking at this one on the bottom left, I see that I have my 1, 2-carbon group, so that's my ethyl. And then I'm going to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is a butane, and on my 3rd carbon I have a methyl. So 3 methyl butane. Okay, and last one. Now we have we see our single oxygen. So we have this group. Breaking it down into the steps, we have our ethyl, and then I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be a pentane. Now we also notice that we have a chlorine group, and we have another carbonyl group, which is a ketone. So these are 2 more branches, and we're going to need to attach them to our pentane, which we're going to change to pentanoate. But we need to alphabetize these and number them. So we have a chlorine group, so that's going to be 5-chloro. And then I have a 5, and I have this carbonyl group, this ketone, and that is an oxo group. So 5, I forgot a hyphen there, 5-oxo. And then I have my pentane, which I need to change to pentanoate. Okay, so that one broken down is ethyl, 5-chloro, 5-oxopentanoate. So again, this isn't terrible. You just need to start with the branch opposite. Let me get a different color here. You need to start with the branch opposite your oxygen. And if you can see what's on the side away from the carbonyl group, and then you can number and just name the rest of the remaining structure. My students informed me that I have made an error here at the end of this one. This one should be ethyl 3-methyl butanoate. I forgot to add the ending to this ester.